जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। हे गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय जगन्नाथ जय अम्बला देवा जय सुभद्रा। जय गौरनिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय। नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। नित्य गौर हरि बोल। जय जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरे। गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि। नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। नित्य गौर हरि बोल। मायपुर चंद्र गौर हरि नवदीप चंद्र गौर हरि। गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि। नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। नित्य गौर हरि बोल। जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। मैं गौर ब्रह्मानंदे हरि हरि बोल। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज का आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद डिवाइन के ऐसी भक्त वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जाए। जयमो विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद श्रीरंग शिल भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगमय यमुनमय की जय। भक्त देव तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Pad ki jai. ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Reading from Bhagavad Gita. Happy Ekadashi. Today being a very auspicious day. Let me share. Chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized, verse number 56 to 57. Sometimes it takes a long time for this website to come. Yeah, okay. Redirection is slow. 56. Yeah. Okay. Repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. So, chapter 2, verse number 56. दुःखेषु अनुद्विग्नमना सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधा स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते। दुःखेषु अनुद्विग्नमना सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधा स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते। दुःखेषु अनुद्विग्नमना सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधा स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते. Word to word translation, word to word synonyms. Dukkeshu, in the threefold miseries. Anudvignamana, without being agitated in mind. Sukheshu, in happiness. Vigataspraha, without being interested. Vita, free from. Raga, attachment. Bhaya, fear. Krodha, and anger. Sthitadi, whose mind is steady. Mana, Muni, sage. Uchate is called. Translation by Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. One who is not disturbed in mind, even in midst of the threefold miseries, or elated when there is a happiness. And who is free from attachment, fear, and anger is called a sage of steady mind. Let's repeat. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries are elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger is called a sage of steady mind. Verse number 57. यः सर्वत्र अनभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभा अशुभम् नाभिनन्दति नाद्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यः सर्वत्र अनभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभा अशुभम् नाभिनन्दति नाद्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यः सर्वत्र अनभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दति नाद्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Synonyms. Yeah, one who sarvatra, everywhere, anabhisneha, without affection, that prapya, achieving, subha, good, asubham, evil, na, never, abhinandati, praises, na, never, dveshti, envies, tasya, his, prajna, perfect knowledge, pratishtita, fixed. Translation by Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. And try to understand these two verses. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bangam Lanjete Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Denatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Pattanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्. रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. Thank you for joining. So we are discussing this chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized. Many sections are there. We are in the last section of this chapter, very important chapter, 2nd and 18. After Arjuna surrendered, Arjuna has given various doubts in the chapter 1 that I don't want to fight, because of compassion for my own family, I don't want to fight, there is no enjoyment, I don't want to fight because of simple activity, if I kill them, my own family, I don't want to fight, destruction of dynasty, unwanted population. So like this, he has been, and then finally in action, he couldn't find out, he couldn't decide whether to renounce, go to forest, or fight, what he should do. Then at that point, after expressing these, he was crying, he sat down on the chariot. He is the one who told Krishna to bring the chariot. Bring, infallible Lord, bring the chariot in between the army so that I can see who are assembled. But he is the one again went backwards. He sat down, he couldn't even start thinking about how to fight. So that was the condition. That's where he expressed all these doubts. Then he surrendered. When he understood that he has a weakness, he has Hridaya Daurbalyam, deficiencies in determining what is action, what is inaction, so what he should do, what he shouldn't do, what is dharma, what is not dharma, all these, so many doubts it has come within his mind. So that's why chapter 2 begins with Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga from verse number all the way from 13th to all the way to 30. And then Krishna, where body and soul details are given. Then Krishna explained about Karma Yoga, where Krishna is giving about what is your duty actually as a Kshatriya, what you are supposed to do. So that's 30 to 39 he explained. Then He is talking about, okay, now step by step he is bringing him to next level. Then he is talking about because Nishkama Karma Yoga. Now you understood what is the body and soul. You understood because all his questions and reasons and doubts are all based on the bodily platform. The compassion for his own family, enjoyment. Is thinking for if I am going to win, then whom I am going to share if they are killed. My own family. He's not thinking about the actual duty. So he's not thinking he's the body. Everybody is living entity. Everybody, even if they are killed, they will get new bodies. So he was not thinking somehow or the other he is put into that condition. So that's why Krishna is giving step by step. First, the body and soul difference, Sankhya Yoga. Then he's talking about the Karma Yoga because he needs to understand what exactly is karma. Karma is not whatever I like to do. No. Shastra is clearly explaining that yes, Shastra vidhim utsricha vartate kamakara na siddham avapnodana na labate param. So one must do activity based on the scripture engine. What's supposed to be just like when we go to office, what we'll do? We don't like what we don't do whatever I like, whatever we like. We do what company is giving, what the manager is giving, what task. Same way, whenever we enter into US, we follow the directions, instructions of the authority, of the government, the rules. So we don't follow whatever we like to do. Yes, people will do that, and then they will be accordingly punished. They will be given. So obviously, in our material authorities, they are not perfect. So they can hide, they can get away with it, not paying taxes or so many other things. But in Supreme Lord's guidance, nobody can get away with anything, not even a small, teeny sinful activity, not even a teeny. So Yamaraj himself was cursed because of he punished one living entity, one sage sadhu, punishing him because he has done when he was a child, he was poking with a needle to an ant or something, a small insect. And because of that, he had to suffer after many years when he was old. Then he told, you are not fit to be a Maharaj. This when I was very small, I did this. You cannot give this punishment. Then, so you will become born as a Sudra. So then Yamaraj became Vidur Maharaj, we see in Canto 3 Srimad. So that's a intricate, karma is intricate, that's why Shastra is telling. Karmana Daiva Netrena Jantor Deham Daiva Netrena, under the divine supervision. Nothing, there is no by chance in this world. Everything is happening by the living entities, karma, past karma, and he is facing the reactions, whether he is passing away within the womb or whether he after born few months is passing away or at what time. It's all depending on the karma. When the living entity is born itself, there is how many breaths he is going to live is been already been given based on the previous karma. That can change when somebody is executing devotional activities. His lifespan or things may change, but otherwise generally it's not so. In a special circumstance only that things. Otherwise it's already been based on our karma and how we use free will. Accordingly also things change. The free will, the choice, the balance is there. The pious activity is there. Accordingly we are suffering or we are enjoying, pious or impious based on the previous life's activities. But again, still, how we use, if you use pious activities in a fraction of days or months or years, everything nicely we enjoy, we may see people like that. They are hardly working and but they are enjoying. They are hardly working, but they are getting money. They have all the facilities because of the previous life's pious activities. But if they continue to do that without performing a punya karma, without performing either bhakti or the pious activities, ordinary pious credits as per Shastra, then they will, once the previous pious activities are done, they will have to suffer. They'll have to leave this body and take up another body. So lower species also. So that's why we have to carefully understand. That's why Krishna is explaining step by step. Don't just, you cannot whimsically say that I will retire and go to forest. As a Kshatriya, you are talking like this. So what kind of impudence has come upon you? What kind of weakness come upon you? That's why he's chastising Arjuna. So then when he surrendered, then he is giving instructions. So that's why Karma Yoga is important in 30. And then a whole chapter Krishna is speaking in third chapter about Karma Yoga. Because it's the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita out of 5 subject matters, Isra, Jiva, Kala, karma, and prakriti. These five factors, five subject matters. Whole Bhagavad Gita is entailing, talking about these five subject matters in great detail. But the essence of Bhagavad Gita is to everything is eternal except one, karma. Ishvara is eternal, Jiva is eternal, Prakriti is eternal, coming and going, but it is eternal. Time is eternal. So, but only the karma is not eternal. So, how to make these material activities into transformative spiritual activity, transcendental activities? That is the whole crux of Bhagavad Gita, the purpose, the essence. So, that's why each and every verse of Bhagavad Gita we have to study with the lens of Shastra Chakshu in the disciplic succession. So, by our own self study, it's very difficult to understand. So, that's why it must be received. And fourth chapter, Krishna is speaking that in detail. So, anyway, so that's why Krishna is speaking step by step. After Sankhya Yoga, Karma Yoga, then he is speaking Nishkama Karma, because Karma Yoga means just performing activity is not enough. That means for pious you will enjoy, for impious you will suffer. But that's not. Then again and again you are doing the same thing, enjoying suffering. Where is the end to it? So that's why Krishna is speaking. Okay, that is not the ultimate. This is, yes. Somebody is doing only 10th class, somebody is doing intermediate, somebody is doing only masters, somebody is doing PhD. There are different grades. So that's why Krishna is presenting all. Whoever wants to take to what level, it is up to them. Choice, free will is there. It is up to them how they want to take up, how much they want to take up. Gradually they can take up. So the karma yoga, then Nishkama Karma Yoga. So Nishkama Karma Yoga, Krishna is speaking about how not to be attached to the result. You should perform your work without it attached to the results. So in that way we should do it. That's what Krishna is emphasizing in from verse number 41 to all the way to 53 and 54 onwards. Above Nishkama Karma, because Nishkama Karma also, in one sense, we look at the word, then you could be doing activities without looking at attached results, but that's not the ultimate goal. Means if you are doing for the pleasure of the Lord, you are doing with the love and affection, then that is the highest. So because Nishkam Karma also, you may have a lot of money or you may have so many things, then you will just give it freely. You are not expecting, because I have everything. I don't need to expect anything in return or anything. So I'll just do it. It will give peace of mind. It will give me happiness. But that is not the ultimate. That still means that is pious trade, still you will enjoy. But it is not going to liberate, it is not going to take us where there is no anxiety and go back to our original place, spiritual world. So that's why Krishna is speaking. Now the next section is the path of samadhi, of the advancement of the transcendental consciousness, the original consciousness, how we can attain that. So that's what Krishna is speaking in this section. So that's where we are in this today's verse 54. First question asked by Arjuna after he surrendered. So Arjuna asked the question, what is the explained Sthitha Prajnasya Kava Samadhistasya Kesava Sthitha Dhir Prabhaset Kim Asit Kim Brajeta Kim. Arjuna Vaja 2.54 is asking, what are the symptoms? What is the language of that person you are talking about last few verses from 50 to 53? Sthitha Prajna, Buddhi, the person is fixed in Krishna consciousness, he is not getting diverted, his mind is fixed. So in this way, intelligence is fixed. You are talking all these things, but who is that person? How do I identify? How do I know what exactly his characteristics? Can you explain that? So that was his question. How does he sit? How does he walk? What is language? How does he talk? And that's what these three things, and language, behavior basically. So that's what is the question. Now Krishna is explaining. In the last class we were discussing about 2.55, where it has been described that Prajahat yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. So one who is in this fixed up Krishna consciousness, he doesn't operate on the mental platform. He doesn't speculate. Then we give an example of Raghunath Das Goswami. Even though he is a great Jamindar's son, he has all the wealth. He has renounced everything and then came to surrender to Supreme Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what did he first thing he asked? What is my duty? I don't know. What is my duty? What I am supposed to do? So please tell me, who am I? What is my duty? How I should execute? Everything he asked in detail, and he has surrendered. And Mahaprabhu has given, Krishna has given him to his servant, Sarup Damodar Goswami. You are under the care of Sarup. So ask him, he will tell. But still, if you want to ask me, I will tell you briefly. and then you take additional guidance. Principle I will give you, details he will tell you how to do it. So in that way, even though great scholar, Raghunath Das Goswami is not ordinary. He knows the transcendental knowledge already. Is not ordinary person, but still, this is the way to get transcendental knowledge. Always be in that humble position and always ask. So he's not speculating. I already know. I'll do like this. No, he's not speculating. He is asking under the authority. He's asking what to be done, how to do it. So that is the first condition, first characteristics or qualities of a pure devotee. You name it, any acharya you take, Sri Prabhupada, Ramanacharya, Madhvacharya, none of them whimsically or speculatingly, they didn't do anything. They all did based on the Ramanacharya. If you see, he's already fixed up, he followed his authority, his spiritual master. So he always served his devotees, starting with whether it's Yadav Prakash or Yamunacharya. So he always, Kanchipurna, Mahapurna, he served many of them. He took the guidance. They have given him instruction, go and get water every day, serve Varadaraj, Lord Varadaraj. That was his first service. He has received the instruction from Kanchipurna. He tried to make him the spiritual master. He said, Kanchipurna, I am not qualified. I am Sudra, you are the Brahmana. Yeah, I am not qualified to give you. He didn't give. So this is again a humble position teaching. He is not speculating. He knows exactly his position. Even though he was elevated personality, Kanchipurna, when the Lord arranged, personally told him where to, how to take, from whom to take. So in this way, we see all the acharyas like that. Whether Madhvacharya, Sri Prabhupada, so Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka Acharya, all the acharyas always followed, not speculating anything, just following the previous spiritual master, their spiritual master's guidance. So that is the first and foremost quality, not speculating. Now in this verse, Krishna is speaking because why the Arjuna, why first of all is bringing Arjuna is in that speculative idea. That I don't know what, but all these reasons where he is coming, he is not based on authority. He is giving the, even if he is quoting something that is talking about from the lowest of the scriptures, Niti Shastra, morality, just on the merely morality, ordinary, just people may bring up, this is not moral, this is immoral, but very, very basic things. But actually, if we look at the higher level, for the Kshatriya, what he is supposed to do, he forgot all those duties and he gave all these reasons which are at the lowest level. He is operating at the almost like a Sudra level, he is giving all these things. So that's why Krishna said, don't speculate that and then give up all these thoughts and give all these reasons. Come to the understanding, come based on the Shastra you speak, based on your Brahmanas, Acharyas, authority you speak, what you are supposed to do. So that's why Krishna first symptom he has told, give up your speculations. So then Krishna is speaking now. You are, because he was first of all his mind was not only bodily he was identifying. That's why he said compassion for my own family. Now the next problem he had is he was conditioned by the three modes of material nature. He was conditioned by he was affected by within his mind. He was disturbed within mind. So to such an extent that he couldn't even stand. He sat down on the chariot, he was crying and all his limbs, everything was shivering and he couldn't do anything. So that was the state. Why? Because he saw, oh, my father, my grandfather, my son, so many, he was always identifying with the body. And within the mind, oh, if I do this, what will happen to my relationship, this, that. So many things he was thinking within the mind. So threefold miseries. That's why in this verse, first thing he's talked about is Dukkeshu Anudvigna Mana. So Udvigna means great anxiety. He was agitated, great anxiety. So because of that, he was disturbed within his mind. So that's why he couldn't stand any longer. And then he sat down and Asura Purnapaleksham Visidantam Vidam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana is speaking that in second chapter, first verse. That crying with tears is speaking to Madhusudana. Remove the doubts, oh Madhu, killer of Madhu demon. So here that's why first the second symptom is quality is he is always situated, he is not, his mind is not disturbed when threefold miseries happen. That means not threefold miseries. Yeah. Anudvigna mana means Prabhupada is explaining this. Anudvigna means anxiety from threefold. Three trapatraya. That means Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika, Adi Devi. What are those? Adi Bhautika means from our own body and mind. It could be from the overeating. It could be from health reasons, health problems. It could be different community issues, job issues, all relate to our own body and mind. Adi Bhuta. So Adi Atma and Adi Daivika. Adi Daivika means natural catastrophes. Natural catastrophes. Sorry, Adi Atma is our own, from our own body and mind. Adi Daivik is from the external, where by the natural catastrophes, even this virus, it could be taken as two ways. This virus also as Adi Bhautik from other living entities, from other human beings, insects, animals, it could be any. Those are all coming under Adi Bhautika. These are kleshas, various sufferings. Whether we like it or not, within this material world, these three tapatrayas are there. So his mind was disturbed because he's been affected by his own family member, by seeing them, by identifying with the body. He was being affected. So that is the problem. So that, and we see that we'll take an example of so many examples are there throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, endless examples from all the way from Pandavas to Narada Muni, Pandavas, Bhishma, Pitama, especially Pandavas is beginning to end. So many difficulties. We'll discuss even Ambarish Maharaj, how much he had to face so much difficulty, how he has done it. That also we see. And the Vritrasura's example also we can see. He was a demon, but how he acted, how he was completely undisturbed. He was asking even to Indra to actually kill him. He was not disturbed at all. And then he says one beautiful verse will describe that, where it's clearly mentioning how to transfer our attachment, how our attachment is there. So that's why these threefold miseries we have to see because of the identification of the body. Just like so, why we identify as we finished bachelor's or masters, will be as soon as we get the degree. So we'll think that I have finished this degree because all because of how good it is. It is only temporary. It is to the due to the body only. That certificate has been given. You have studied within this body. So in next life there is no that certificate that whatever we have studied is useless. Again, next life we start from where we left off. So it is not permanent. It is not eternal. So that's why. So in that way we see so many examples. We can take a look. So we call my wife, my kid, my son, my father. It is all because there are so many people outside, so many living entities. We are not identifying like that. We are not having that attachment or affection, especially attachment, because of the bodily identification only. In the past life, who was our father, who was our mother, who was our wife, who was our kids? In the next life, who's going to be? We don't know. So it's all because of the bodily identification. Arjuna is identifying like that. Oh, he's my father, he's my son. Oh, how can I kill them? So that's why Krishna is bringing them. Don't be disturbed. One who is fixed up in this samadhi, fixed consciousness, he will not be disturbed. Whether it's a bodily problem, whether it's from his own body and mind, or from the other living entities, whether it's human beings or animals, or insects, or from the external, especially from the demigods who are giving various kinds of sufferings in terms of too cold, too hot, like that. So it could be anything, disasters, natural disasters. These are all the three kinds of miseries here it is talked about. And Sukeshu Vigata Spruha, even when there is a happiness. So we'll be very happy. Sometimes somebody might give nice gifts on our birthday, or sometimes may somebody bring nice food for us, special food what we like. Then we'll be very happy. Oh, thank you for bringing this up. This is all because of the due to tongue only. If the tongue, because one person may like certain items, other person may like certain other items, some other items. It's all due to our tongue, due to the bodily relation, bodily identification only. This happiness is coming. So yes, you take it, but even if you don't get that, you are eating something else another day. You will not. You don't need to be too much elated or overjoyed because of the bodily identity. That's one who is fixed up. He will not be elated whether whatever he is getting, whether it is getting the so many variety of items, whatever he likes, or basic items, simple like rice, dal, roti, sabji, or something. Whatever he's getting, he is happy. He's not disturbed. He's not over joyful. He's not jumping up and down. So that is he's fixed. He's stable. He's not overly attached to anything. So That is the next symptom. It has been explained. And then Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. So the next thing is Krishna is speaking is attachment. One, the Raga means attachment. Bhaya means fear. When we have attachment to this body, attachment to anything, whether it's car or cell phone, if we attach to anything, money, bank, whatever you name it, because of that attachment, minute we have the attachment, as soon as things are lost, so we always feel that. So as per like a finger, our finger got cut because our attachment. As soon as we feel greatest pain. To the degree we have attachment, to that extent we will feel fear, we feel angry. Vita raga bhaya. So Vita and Raga and Bhaya Krodha. So Vita means free from Raga. First is attachment is there to the body, whether it's finger to the or the machine, or basically extended possessions. So because of that, then automatically the fear comes. Fear is there. Oh, we are going to lose it. So then anger, frustration, illusion, all those things come because of the strong attachment is there. So but here the symptom is mentioned as one who is fixed up in this Krishna consciousness. He is free from the threefold misery. He is not agitated. He is not disturbed in the mind. Doesn't matter whether this virus is going on or something else, some other disturbance, too cold. He is not worried that he will stop cooking or he will stop taking bath. It's too cold. So I will not go out. I will just sit at home because it's too hot or too cold. No, he will continue his duty. He is fixed up. And we can look at this in Russia. Prabhupada also told one who is preaching in Muslim countries, I'll take their dust and put on my head. That Prabhupada said because many like Brahmananda Prabhu went to Pakistan and preached. Then Ananta Shanti Prabhu in 1970. I think 74 or 75, Prabhupada went to Russia first time, 5 days. He spoke with Professor Katowski. There is a Science of Self-Realization book, this example is there. So Professor Katowski couldn't understand the actual science of self-realization. So Prabhupada spoke at length. He is not understanding about the soul. So he's speaking on the bodily platform. So where Prabhupada went, from that just for 5 days, Prabhupada went by his purity, then he could create a revolution. Now in Russia, so many, almost 100,000 or more, so many devotees are there, so many temples. Obviously, there are so much, so much restrictions. So many times they are trying to put down. Even recently, also they tried to put case and. Bhagavad Gita is not a holy book, remove that book, all those things they tried to do, but somehow or the other, every time they did, few years ago they did, and the case was lost for the Russian government. Devotees won again this time also, again recently they put the case, and they again, it was somehow or the other by Krishna's mercy, we were able to be. So there is Ananta Shanti Prabhu, is a great devotee, a great disciple of Sri Prabhupada in the Russia. He started preaching. He had to go through so much because of preaching. It is very restricted. So there, you cannot do anything directly outside publicly. You cannot do like how we do in India or US. So there he was started preaching. He was started distributing and all. Then he was put in prison. From ordinary prison, they put in psychiatric prison. Even in the special psychiatric prison, what he used to do, even he cannot chant, he cannot eat, he cannot take bath for 20, 30 days. So they used to give him bread. Then he used to make the bread, make beads from the bread and chant. He cannot even chant loudly. He used to do so much disturbance, so much distress, so much hard. He had to go through these difficulties, various difficulties. But he was not agitated. He was not. He was undisturbed completely. Even though, but we don't have. We have all the appliances. We have all the facilities, but we have struggled. So that's why the first thing we need to do is to come to this stage. Is what is mentioned here: austerity, voluntarily accepting austerity, because the attachment is there. We don't want to take, oh, it's too cold, too hot, I cannot get up, or I cannot do this, I cannot do that. So I'm attached, I cannot give up this coffee, tea, or whatever. Even small things also, it's very difficult because we are used to these things. We don't want to do something which we haven't been attached to, or we haven't done it before. it becomes like, oh, it's not for me. This is not for me. So we think like that without even trying. First, we have to try and see. So that's why voluntarily we must accept. So that was the first and foremost. So he has accepted. The devotees has accepted Ananta Shanti Prabhu or any devotee. Look at first thing. Even Brahma himself for creation, the first instruction he has received is after many years he was sitting and meditating. What I am to do? He was born from the navel of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. And then he was not sure who his father was, what he is supposed to do. Then he has heard after many years of tapasya. Many years he was simply sitting and searching throughout. He was sitting. He was born from the lotus flower stem. So lotus flower is very very healthy, by the way. So you can take on Ekadasi day lotus seeds. You can roast and take it. Lotus, everything about lotus is very very beautiful. Lord's eyes, everything is compared with lotus, so clean, and it doesn't get attached. Lotus flower, even though it might be in a dirty place, but still nothing gets attached to the muddiness. Doesn't get attached to the lotus. So everything about the lotus is very beautiful. So and Ananta Shanti Prabhu was completely undisturbed. He has gone through so much, so many difficulties like that. Still he was chanting. Then finally came out. So after so many different people tried, different lawyers and different organizations tried to help him from different angles. Then finally, after almost I think many years, I think a few years, he had to spend from one prison. They switched him also. They transferred him also, even though sometimes he has been told that yes, he can be released. Then they didn't agree, that management, the prison management, whoever is overseeing that, they transferred him to again another prison. In this way it has been going on from one place to another place. So much he had to face, Ananta Shanti Prabhu, but he was undisturbed because he knows he's not the body, he is the spirit soul. Despite the difficulties, he just simply surrendered to Sri Prabhupada's instructions. He went on. Finally, he was released because of his one devotee. Prabhupada obviously went because of Prabhupada's mercy. This is because of this one devotee. And today in Russia, so much, so many devotees, so many people became devotees. So many people are able to take up Krishna consciousness. They are not aware of anything about transcendental knowledge, but because of this one devotee's efforts, you can see, because he was undisturbed, he was not thinking, oh, it's too much for me to do. So, but we are struggling to do even with the full facilities here in US and India. It's because that's why the first thing we have to do is tapasa brahmacharyena samena damena cha Chagen Nimenava, Satya Sautabhyam, again Nimenava. Rishabhadev is instructing his sons, before you take up this kingdom, perform austerity, understand what's supposed to be done as per a human life. So that is the first and foremost. And Brahma also received that tapa, these two words, two syllables he has heard from the Supreme Lord. He has heard those two syllables. Then he started practicing austerity, he started meditating. And then Lord has himself has given that knowledge within the heart. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikave. Krishna, through the flute, he has received the Gayatri mantra. Krishna Gayatri, the two Gayatri, Kama Gayatri, both he has received. Then with that he was able to do everything. All the knowledge was revealed within his heart. Everything, how to create, what he is supposed to do, what is duty. So everything was revealed within the heart. After he performed this austerity, that's why tapa is very much required. Human being means regulation. Regulation is the main. We cannot become desireless. We cannot become senseless. Senses will be there. So we just need to regulate that. That means voluntarily we have to give up the bad association, take the good association. That's what it means. So then we will be undisturbed, and we can look at here. Vratrasura is a demon. He became a demon, a devotee only. So here he was fighting with Indra. Indra started fighting with him. Then all his demon friends of Vratrasura, everybody left, and he is alone fighting. He said, He was not afraid at all. He was fighting with Indra. Indra was afraid of him actually. He told Indra, you have the thunderbolt, you have these weapons, use that. I'm ready to be killed. So if I am killed, I will go back to my service. I want to engage in the service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. His servants of the Supreme Lord, not even directly. And so, if you Indra, you will be if you kill me, then you will enjoy nicely. It's based on your qualification. You will nicely enjoy. You will get your kingdom, heavenly planets. I will go back to my eternal service. So there is no. So please, you ready? Come and fight with me. Come and kill me. So even though Indra was afraid, but Vrtrasura was saying the beautiful verse. What is a very important point is making. The examples also he is giving. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds have not yet developed their wings, always look for their mother to return and feed them. As small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers. Or a morose wife whose husband is away from home always long for him to return and satisfy him in all respects. I always yearn for opportunity to render service to you, Supreme Lord. Ajata paksha iva mataram kaga stanyam yata vasarai kshudartah priyam priyena vishitam vishanvatam mano aravindaksha didrakshate tvam. So this is Vrtrasura is telling, is praying to the Supreme Lord. So like how these those who are doesn't even have wings, the babies, babies, they are still in the nest. They cannot even fly. They don't have wings. They are very much attached to their mother and father to bring the food and give everything. So much dependent. And then same way the calves also, because they have been tied with ropes. We are also tied with the ropes of this senses, mind, intelligence, caught up with these three modes of material nature, threefold miseries. We are shackled by these three modes of material nature. So we are not able to free up because we have given up the attachment to the Supreme Lord. We are attached to this body, mind, intelligence. So that is the case here. That's why these examples are very apt as he is speaking. So like this kind of attachment. So like that, I am very much dependent on your mercy. Please allow me to serve you. When will I come? Please engage me in your service. In this way, Vrtrasura is praying. So you fight with me, you kill me, so that I can go back and serve. He is offering beautiful prayer. This is in the 6th canto, 11th chapter, verse number 26. 4 or 5 verses or more are there. Vrtrasura's prayers, beautiful prayers. So in this way, we can understand how we should transfer our attachment by so that we can be undisturbed within our mind. So within our intelligence, we are fixed up. Obviously, associate with devotees. When we say tapasa, austerity is not like any regular austerity. So when we look at the example of Ambarish Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj was a great devotee. He was a disciple of Narada Muni. Narada Muni has given him the instructions. He is a great king. Even his wife was also very much submissively serving him. Both together they served. They engaged in devotional service. It is mentioned that he is using all his parts of the body, everything. Even though as a king, what kind of austerities they performed? When we say tapasa for bhakti yogis, it is mentioned austerity is nothing but chanting the holy name of the Lord, going to a temple and taking darshan of the Lord, by offering flowers, offering our possessions, whatever we have within our capacity. So cleansing the Lord's temple, serving the devotees, serving the Lord in different capacities. So in this way, he used everything. Vaikunta vachamsi gunanu varnane is using his ears to hear, is using his hands to cleanse and serve the devotees, is using his legs to walk towards the temple. So in this way, each and every limb of his body is used in the Lord's service. All 9 types of devotion service, starting with Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vandanam, Achanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedam. And so all 9 ways of devotion service, 9 limbs, 9 angas, all he was performing, everything, not just one. So because of that, he perfected his life. This austerity he is using simply. That because voluntarily is giving up instead of even though he has so much money, so much opulence, he has so many queens and assistants, so many things, but he was not attached. He was completely detached. He was not thinking they're all ready to serve. They are for my enjoyment. Let me enjoy nicely. No, he voluntarily thinking that he gave up all that enjoyment externally, seemingly. Then rather he used everything, everybody's time. He engaged everybody, not only him. He engaged all his kingdom, making sure everybody is executing in this way tapasa, austerity, voluntarily serving the Supreme Lord, using whatever they have, mind, body, words. Uh, what is mentioned is इहैरस्य हरे दास्ये कर्मणा मनसा गिरा निखिलासु अवस्थासु कर्म भक्ति उच्यते. So using mind, body, words, Jiva Goswami's statement, this verse quoting, so he's saying using mind, body, words in Lord service. So in the service of devotee, even Patrasara is speaking before this verse in his prayers, let me be a servant of your servants. Of the Supreme. He is not saying I am going to become directly servant. Servant of his servant. So that is the way. Always try to serve whenever you get opportunity, whenever we come to temple, try to serve if possible if you have time, or gradually. So slowly and gradually whenever we come to that state, then we should try to serve. So this will that will help. So always serving the devotees will help. So then we'll gradually will be able to perform austerity. We'll be able to voluntarily, because we will develop attachment. Right now we are attached to so many things, because when we serve the devotees, we are getting the mercy. Our Lord will be pleased, and then automatically the gradually will be able to voluntarily engage in the chanting of the holy name Lord, gradually to read the transcendental books, hear about this Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So Ambarish Maharaj has performed how much? 1 year, full year, Ekadasi and Dwadasi. He performed 1 full year. He has performed by simply performing this kind of austerity. Following Ekadasi is austerity. Otherwise, so many people are there in this world. So this is what austerity means. It's nothing rocket science. It's not very difficult. You still we have so many facilities. Ekadasi also, we can do different ways of Ekadasi. Doesn't need to be Nirjal. Obviously, looks like Ambarish Maharaj did even Ekadasi, how he followed first one, it was not clearly mentioned. But when he did this 1 year, then he is about to break one Ekadasi. Parana time is coming up. Again, that is another instruction is we have to break the fast within the Parana time. Tomorrow is only 2 hours is there. I think 5:58 to 7:53 or something. Only 2 hours is there. Generally, regularly 3-4 hours will be there. From sunrise starts till at least 3-4 hours will be there generally. But sometimes it's only half an hour is there in some Dwadasi time. So we have to carefully see and then break it. Otherwise, it's an offense also. So Ambarish Maharaj also is trying to break his fast. Before that, he donated 60 crores of cows, donated to charity to Brahmanas, and then he served, and then he served all the Brahmanas nicely. Then he is ready to break. That time Durvas Muni comes and Durvas Muni comes. Then he serves Durvas Muni also. Then he is about to sit, but then he said, "No, I have to take bath and come." Then he waits. He waits for Durvas Muni, but the Parana time is only 1 muhurta is there. Then he doesn't come. Then he asks, Brahmanas didn't give decision actually. He is telling, so actually, can I do fast? Can I break with water? Because it is mentioned in the Shastra is water, taking water, breaking with water is like eating or not eating, both ways. So that's why breaking the water in that way is not offending Durvasmani, because he is not eating, taking, honoring the prasad act. Is just only simply taking water, because that's a offense to not breaking the fast when you do Ekadasi. It's a offense to Supreme Lord, not following that Ekadasi Vrata. So that's why he took, and immediately as Durvas Muni came to, but obviously Brahmanas were there, and they couldn't give judgment. Then he told them, this was my dilemma. They couldn't decide. Then 1 minute only, he took water, he broke it like that. Then Durvas Muni seeing that, then immediately became very much angry. and he immediately took hair from his head and then threw it to the ground. He was a great yogi. Then because of that, then a great demon came and tried to kill Ambarish Maharaj. But Ambarish Maharaj was not at all disturbed, not even a pinch, not even a pinch. Even though great demon was so fearful, but he is not even an inch, not even a pinch. He didn't even move anything. He was just simply meditating on the Supreme. That's what he was doing every day. That's what, as you, it is not actually so difficult to chant. 16 rounds is not difficult. Even more than 16 rounds also we can do. It's just a practice. It is a practice. It's a voluntarily accepting and planning in our life. Accordingly, we will get time. Accordingly. Otherwise, so many things will pile up in our life, just like we pile up in our home. After many years, our home will be filled with so many things, and then we'll realize, oh, these are so many things I accumulated. I have to clean this, clean that. So we'll realize after many years, like that also in our life, so many things. Our time of 24 hours is filled with so many things. So what is important, what is not important. So what to do, what not, how to plan. All these things must be gradually, systematically when we do. Then Krishna will give it how to. So Ambarish Maharaj was not disturbed at all. He is completely focused on the Supreme Lord. Even at that time also. Narayana Parasarve Kotaschana Sarga Porgadare Tulyartha Darshana. So he was not afraid of anything. Whether he's going to go to hell, he will be killed. So he was simply meditating. Then Durvasmuni, what happened? Before that, because of the full devotion service, full pure devotion service Ambarish Maharaj performed for many years, especially for last 1 year, he has performed this Ekadasi and Dwadasi Vrata along with his wife. Lord has given him Sudarshan Chakra. Lord has given him personally Sudarshan Chakra to him. Imagine you can understand the quality of this personality. That he was undisturbed. So he was not proud. Oh, Lord has given me. I am being a great devotee. He was not in that at all. He was always. We can see throughout this incident. At the end, also we see how great he is, how humble he is, and so in that way, Sudarshan Chakra was there. Immediately, as soon as Durvasa Muni threw the demon, immediately Sudarshan Chakra right there, the demon was killed right there, burned fire. Then immediately that Sudarshan Chakra started going behind Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni had to run for his life because great fire. Sudarshan Chakra has a great fire. So much heat. Nobody can escape from Sudarshan Chakra. Nobody, none of the demigod, nobody can control. And Sudarshan Chakra is released. There is no one can stop. So obviously Durvasa Muni had to run for his life. He went through so many places. He tried to hide in some Mount Sumeru and whatnot. Then he went to Brahma. He said, I cannot control this Sudarshan Chakra. You have to go to the Supreme Lord. Then he went to Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva also said the same thing. We are all, Brahma, myself, all demigods, everybody is under the control of the Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Then finally he reached. He could go. This yogi, Durvasa Muni, is not ordinary. He could go to Vaikuntha. He could go to Lord Narayan. Then he approached. Then Lord said, Aham Bhakta Paradina. Grasta Hridaya, I forget that. Sadhu, no, not that verse, the other verse. This is the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Beautiful verse. It is so Lord mentioned, I am controlled by my devotees. I am not independent. I am dependent actually. So there also, that's why one who is patiently suffering, Brahma is also offering in this prayers in 10th canto. Tattenu kampam susamikshmano punjana evat Krutam Vipakam Hritvag Vapuvir Vidadan Namaste Jiva Sadayava. So one Jita Trilokyam. So one, how will be able to control the Supreme? How will actually attain, cross over these three modes of material nature, attain, come to that pure devotion service, come to the perfection, go back to our original place, is by patiently executing devotion service, despite difficulties, despite so many things may come up in our life, but we still execute, keep on executing, just continuing with patience, enthusiasm, and determination. Then for them, guaranteed. It is mentioned, Krishna is guaranteeing, Acharyas are guaranteeing, you will attain perfection very quickly and rapidly because of your surrender, because of your patience, enthusiasm, and determination. So that's what Ambarish Maharaj had that. So even though, yes, So he was not budged, and then actually he had to go. Lord has told, I am not, I am controlled by my devotees, I am dependent on my devotees. So you had to go back to the devotee whom you offended. Then he came back to Ambarish Maharaj. He caught hold of his feet. He fell down at the feet of Ambarish. Then Ambarish Maharaj was tears flowing from his eyes. And then he said, "No, what are you doing? Yeah, you are a great devotee. So I am nothing. So you don't touch my feet." Then he picked him up, and then so obviously relieved of his offense. And then Sudarshan Chakra stopped. And then so he served even then also. How long this happened? When Durvas Muni went to all these places, Brahma, Shiva, Vaikuntha, 1 year. For 1 year, Ambarish Maharaj just with water. He didn't take. For 1 year, he didn't take even food. It is impossible for us. But it is possible because there are so many could do. Hiranyakashipu and like these demons itself, they could do so much severe austerities. But Ambarish Maharaj, for a devotee, that's what I'm saying. One who is operating on the spiritual platform, one who is fixed up, one who is chanting sincerely, one who is chanting seriously, executing pure devotion service with love and affection, dedicatedly. For him, so much energy comes. If you try to do ordinarily Ekadasi fasting, for regular people, they may not be able to do. Same way for those who are not having that spiritual energy by serving devotees, by following this devotion service, there is not much energy. With ordinary power and our bodily strength, we will not be able to do. But minute you start executing, either chanting, reading, hearing, serving the devotees, taking Krishna Prasad, like this, all this, even simple activities, gradually you will get so much spiritual strength from the spirit soul. So not spirit, super soul. Super soul is giving strength to soul. So that's why when the free will is used in Lord service, to the degree we use, to the degree. So that's why Ambarish Maharaj was able to perform this very easily. Whole year, 1 year he performed until Durvas Muni came back, he didn't eat. Just water only, you survived. It is not impossible, nothing is impossible. So it is possible. When Prabhupada was leaving the body, almost 6 months or more than that, I think, yeah, at least 6 months. Prabhupada was on the bed. He knows he is about to leave. He is still preaching, hardly taking anything, hardly, and hardly. I think just a little buttermilk and here and there once a week or something, very little, some upma, very little, hardly. I think many days he didn't even take. But still he was able to preach, he was talking, all those things. Bodily, externally, it is impossible. For regular people, it is impossible. He is a pure devotee, pure devotion service on that platform. So the super soul gives strength to soul. So that on that basis only. Otherwise, there is no possibility for ordinary person to do. So that's how Ambarish Maharaj is able to do that. Then he served after feeding Durvas Muni. Then he was very much satisfied. Durvas Muni blessed him, become a great devotee. You will be always be in fixed Krishna consciousness. So in this way, so Ambarish Maharaj example, we can see he was not elated. He was not, I became a great devotee. Durvas Muni is catching my feet. He was not even at that instance, before or after, same. He thought that I am a great devotee or some disturbance is coming. He was fixed. He was fixed, always meditating. Whatever will of the providence, whatever is coming, is accepting. Just whatever Lord may do with me, as Mahaprabhu is chanting, Asleshavam Padaratam Pinastumam Marmahatam Karotuva. Yata Tadavat Lampato Mat Prananadastu Sayevanapara. Whatever you may do, you may trample me, you may break me down, you may do whatever you do. I am ready to, I am always, let me serve you. Mat Prananadastu, you are my Prananath. Mat Prananath Sayevanapara. Let me, doesn't matter whatever you do with me. I'm always your servant. You're always my Prananath. So that was the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaching. So that is the mood here, the pure devotee. So Ambarish Maharaj is expressing. We can see Prahlad Maharaj also. They throwed Prahlad Maharaj, the Hiranyakashipu, his own father throwed, because he is again so envious. He throwed Prahlad Maharaj into so many and snakes, great venomous snakes from the mountains in the fire. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't do nothing else. How it is impossible for any ordinary person, because he was protected. When the Lord is protecting, nobody can do anything. So like that, so Lord protected Prahlad Maharaj. So where it is, Narsingadev himself is telling, one who is protected, yeah, one who is hearing, one who is hearing my activities and Prahlad Maharaj activities. One who is hearing his pastimes, his activities, and my activities, then he will be able to cross over these three modes. He will be able to undisturbed come to this Sthitha Prajna, fixed up consciousness, by simply following Prahlad. That's why Mahaprabhu himself used to hear, because such a small age, Prahlad Maharaj, so fixed up, so determined. Even when Narsingadev appeared, he asked for the boons. He said, ask me something. That I am not, if you are the true master, you will never do business. If I am a true servant, I will never expect anything in return. That is what servant means, that is what master means. This is our relationship, just on the pure love. That is so Narsingadev was very, very pleased with him. From the beginning, he is in his prayers. Ninth chapter is all about the prayers, from all the way from how he is expressing his qualities. So Brahma and everybody pushed him to go before Narsingadev. But he is praying first prayer itself. He is telling, I don't have qualification. Lord Brahma, all these great demigods. What I am the son of a great demon. What qualification I have? When he asked for the boons also, at the end, he was telling Prahlad Maharaj, I don't want anything. So I just relieve my father, and then so many people are suffering. And before, first of all, he told, Narada Muni is my spiritual master. He is there. He is delivered me, and then how can I just go back with you, or how can I take something, or just directly go back and take liberation? I have to, my duty first, I have to serve my spiritual master. I cannot do this. So in this way, so he can imagine so what kind of consciousness he is operating on. He is always fixed up in serving his spiritual master. He doesn't want any, he is not thinking that he is even a devotee. He is thinking that Brahma, all these demigods, there are so many qualifications. What qualification I have? I am a son of a demon. So I don't have any qualification. So in this way, beautiful prayers. So we can learn one, two prayers and chant, pray to Prahlad Maharaj in this way. Then by their mercy, we will be able to come to this undisturbed mind. Whether it's happiness or distress, the second verse is talking about good or bad. Prabhupada had to go through 3 heart attacks. It is Asubha, inauspicious. But was he disturbed? No, he continued on. So much he had to, same person who actually he was trying to kill him with a knife when he was in the Bowery, in the New York. There he tried, the one person tried to, the same person after some time, then he started coming also. Prabhupada didn't say, oh, don't allow him to come. No, Prabhupada allowed him also. So that's why Prabhupada is not operating on the bodily platform at all. He is not looking at who's qualified, who's not qualified. He is just simply, based on his spiritual master's order, he is simply carrying on. He was not looking at good or bad, auspicious, inauspicious. He is not looking at all this. Many times astrology also, many disciples we want to do. Prabhupada he said, no, it's not needed. I want to do Ayurveda. He said, no, not needed. So it's just, our duty is to serve Krishna and execute Krishna conscious activities. Yes, if you are using Ayurveda, yes, you want to preach Krishna consciousness to others in a natural way and then bring more people, then it's all right. But not that simply, oh, I will learn Sanskrit, I will do this, I will do that. Not for just for nothing. If you are going to actually, you become Krishna conscious and you are going to give Krishna consciousness to others through that method, through that particular job, yes, then it is fine. So in that way, Prabhupada. Then one time even the nectar devotion, Ganesha worship is also mentioned. Then devotees started in Chicago, I think. They started worshipping Ganesha, and then they didn't listen to anybody. Now the GBC is not authority. They simply were. They used to distribute a lot of books. They used to get a lot of money. Then they wrote to Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada told, accept my blessing, because all Sankirtan devotees wrote. Prabhupada said, okay, accept my blessings. And then he wrote, if you want to stay, if Krishna is clearly telling in Bhagavad Gita, you don't need to worship demigods. So you worship me, and then you want to do opposite. You want to become a disciple of a follower of Krishna, and then you don't want to follow his instruction. You want to go. Okay, if you still want to do worship, yes, you can do if you bring at least $100,000 every month, then yes, you can do. You can worship Ganesha. So in that way, then they could understand. Then they stop doing in that way. And so that's why everything is based on the how good or bad. So there is no auspicious, inauspicious thing in devotion service. Everything is auspicious. That's why we don't look at so much about the time, astrology, this, that. Very Prabhupada hardly, he never asked, very rarely, even when he was ill also. Is what your Kaviraj is saying, what your astrologer, because some devotees were very much inclined to find what astrologer has to say. Prabhupada went ahead. He was not bothering about any of this because he is dependent on the Supreme Lord. He just went ahead and performed good or bad. Or devotees also, whether it's Jayananda Prabhu, we look at the examples how otherwise how it can happen. The preaching in Muslim countries, Malaysia, Indonesia, many places you cannot do publicly, but so much preaching is going on now. And when Prabhupada time itself, it started. China, Japan, Tamal Prabhupada sent Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj to China to preach. He was not ready. I said, no, I cannot. I just said like that. No, Prabhupada said, no, you need to go. And he went. And today we see so much preaching even in China also. So many devotees are there in China. So in this way, we see that it's auspicious or inauspicious or what kind of food. In Russia, it is mentioned they had hardly any food. Only vegetable is potato and then one more. I think few items, very few. It's very difficult to sustain. Now there might be many, but this is in 70s, 80s. It's very difficult. But still, they were not disturbed. But we have all facilities. We are disturbed. Small things happen, oh, we are very disturbed. So we get very quickly agitated. So that means our consciousness is not absorbed. So that's why we have to take these examples and try to practice seriously, sincerely, slowly, gradually. Then Krishna will give intelligence. Then he will give the empowerment. He will give the strength, knowledge, everything, whatever we need, everything, whatever is lacking. So Krishna will give everything. So that's what these two verses are telling by the examples. Let me see if I. So we can look at so many examples. So he was not disturbed, like we will see in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. Also, Shivananda Sen was not disturbed. Shivananda Sen had to arrange so many things to every year. He was the one who was arranging all the residence quarters while going from Navadvip Dham, Mayapur to all the way to Jagannath Puri. So he was arranging the quarters, he was arranging the places, he was arranging the food, everything he was arranging for all the devotees from Navadvip Dham and also from Srikhanda and so many other places. So everything he was arranging. So one time, so he had to pay the tolls. So the tolls was there at that time also. The Jamindars used to pay. Used to have these toll booths so that they collect taxes for the road. So he used to pay all those. Sometimes he gets stopped. They will go front, everybody else, but he had to be stopped because he has to wait to pay and everything. Then sometimes he gets delayed. But he served like that. One time, Lord Nityananda Prabhu also was there. It got delayed so much that they all have to wait. No quarters, nothing. They have to wait under a tree because he was stuck at this tax collector to pay. Then Nityananda Prabhu got very much angry. Then he cursed actually. He cursed him also. Very angry. He used ill names. But Shivananda Sen was not disturbed because he knows Lord Nityananda, he is the close associate of Lord Nityananda. But then his nephew got disturbed. And his wife was also disturbed, but he was not disturbed. He was not disturbed. Shivananda, he was very fixed up. So he was a great devotee. He took it as a blessing that when Shivananda Sen finally came, and then first thing is he arranged a cowherd boy's house for Nityananda Prabhu, and then he touched his lotus feet on Nityananda Prabhu. Then he actually praised Lord Nityananda. Whatever he did, it is a mercy. He kicked Lord Nityananda Prabhu kicked him with his feet at his chest. Then his wife was crying, and because he cursed Nityananda, cursed him, cursed Shivananda Sen, all your three sons will die. So that doesn't mean obviously Lord is always merciful. Whatever it doesn't happen like that. He just said like that. Then his wife started crying. This year, all along with their wives, they went. Srivas Thakur went with Malini, his wife. Advaita Acharya went with his wife. All various food stuff they all want to cook and offer this year specifically. Every year, generally, they were not going with family and all. But this year specifically, they all went. So this time with sons, with the family. Sivanand Sen had 3 sons. So he went along with nephew Srikant Sen. So Srikant Sen was upset immediately. He heard, then he was bewildered because he was not fixed up. Then immediately he left Nityananda Prabhu. He went alone separately and he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There also there is one instruction. Srikant Sen, he was removing his, he didn't, he was wearing his shirt and he has a coat. And then he was offering obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then there, Govinda, servant, or Sarup Damodar Goswami is instructing. This is an offense. There is a verse Prabhupada is giving in the purport. One who is offering obeisances while not wearing anything or wearing having a while wearing a shirt or while wearing especially the top cloth shirt or coat, then you are offering obeisances while doing that. It is an offense. So that's why generally as soon as we take bath. While putting, we may offer or do whatever we like, so which is not a proper method to do. So the Srikant said tried to do that, then it was clearly indicated. And Mahaprabhu told, no, don't worry. He is in angry mood already. He is already disturbed because he saw he was disturbed. So that's why he left all the devotees and came directly to me. So don't worry. Leave him. Let him do whatever he wants to do. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this way very compassionately so much he had to deal with. But even when Ramachandra Puri criticized Mahaprabhu also for eating too much or this or that, he allowed. He didn't say anything. So this is good for sannyasi. In that way, actually, he took it as positive. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching how to tolerate whatever good or bad, auspicious, inauspicious, it doesn't matter. Everything Lord is showing by his own example. Sivanand Sen also, in this case, obviously Lord himself Nityananda, but his wife and especially his nephew took it completely. His wife only cried, but she didn't leave. But his nephew left that association of Nityananda Prabhu and devotees and he directly went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is not a good thing because without the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu and devotees, his associates, you cannot get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Balram's mercy, without him, there is no spiritual strength. What is it? Balahinasya, it is mentioned. That means the actual spiritual strength without weakness will be having weakness otherwise. So that's why it is important. Sivanand Sen actually that we praise the Lord. He took as a blessing. Today I was completely purified by your putting your feet on my chest. You purified my whole entire family. As he asked, why are you crying? You shouldn't cry. You don't need to cry. He is the Supreme Lord. He can do whatever he likes. Anything, blessing or whatever he does. Even though externally seemingly is not a good thing. But no, nothing. For the Lord, everything is auspicious. Whatever Lord does, everything is auspicious. That's how Sivananda, because he's operating on the pure devotion, that's why he took it as blessing. When Ambarish Maharaj also seeing Durvasmana, whatever demon is coming, he took it as blessing. He didn't take it as, oh, why difficulty Lord is giving me. No, he never rejected. Whether Vizru Maharaj, Pandavas, they never thought, oh, why Lord is giving me. I was a great devotee, I was always nicely executing. Why is these difficulties coming? No, they just simply carried on. They never budged. They never went on. Prabhupada also had to go through so much in Juhu, in US also so much to establish itself. It is mentioned in Rupa Goswami Samadhi Mandir in Radha Damodar Mandir. Opposite Rupa Goswami's Samadhi is very close by. Every day he used to cry. Every day. Throughout the night he used to cry. Hey Rupa, hey Sanatan. Prabhupada used to cry like anything. For the mercy, please give me intelligence, please give me instruction how to execute my Guru's spiritual order. Because he has told to go and preach to the Western world. How do I do that? Please guide me, give me. So he was crying like that. Then one Mataji or one devotee was hearing this, where it is coming from. She was living there only, around that area, very close by, next house or something. Where this crying? Every day he was hearing. Then one day went up on the top of the roof. Then he saw from there, he could see Prabhupada in the night. He was taking a broom and cleaning in the night that whole courtyard, and he was crying to Rupa Goswami. And every day for many days. So many times Prabhupada didn't eat much at all. It's a very simple quarter Radha Damodar Mandir. It was very austere. Prabhupada simply did this. So much because based on the order of the strength of the spiritual master and praying to Rupa Goswami. So by this, so Prabhupada was empowered to do so great task, not ordinary task. Nobody ordinary devotee can do, not uh, even advanced devotee can do. This is a great pure devotee, commander in chief of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's army, only can do like this. It is not possible at all. So in this way, we can understand these two verses. One who is fixed up, he never whatever external physical bodily problems, auspicious, inauspicious bodily problems, mental, so whether they are put in psychiatric prison, whatever doesn't matter. Devotees go through so many things sometimes. Circumstances such that in sometimes, but it doesn't happen to for us, for like us. Uh, because we cannot even tolerate even small difficulty itself. We have questions why this is happening to me, that is happening to me. So those things are like Pandavas, Prahlad, now those things that doesn't happen to us. So for Prabhupada, everything was taken away, and that doesn't happen to us. We are not at that platform. So Lord Krishna does so many things to bring devotees, even bring more and more separation and surrender to the Lord, to glorify the Lord. Lord has many purposes to solve at one time. So many things. So we cannot understand unless we come to that state of consciousness. Gradually we'll understand what is the Lord's desire, what Lord is showing. So we have to go deep, we have to pray, we have to serve devotees and the Supreme Lord. Gradually everything will be revealed, why things happen in such a way. In our life, in devotees' life, everything will be answered. So by our gradual study, gradual practice, so abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanyam. That's why practice is very much required. Krishna is telling Arjuna, nothing is difficult. You just practice, then everything. This Vetaraga Bhayakrodha, how? One is Jnana you need, that's why that 4.10 Krishna is speaking. Vetaraga Bhayakrodha, man mana mam upasita. When you take shelter of me, my devotee, then automatically your attachment, your anger, fear, everything will be gone. Bahavo jnana tapasa kotamat bhavanata. You will feel because the knowledge, transcendental knowledge, because you are hearing from my devotees and you are taking shelter of me and my devotee, then you will be automatically. This has done. So many devotees were purified. So now you will also become purified. So in this way, as this verse is telling, that's how these pure devotees, advanced devotees are able to get advanced and be detached from all these worldly things or threefold miseries or the happiness or distress, whatever. So when disciples praise Prabhupada also, he was not jumping up and down. And so many people are giving so much money, but he was not jumping. Prabhupada was not jumping up and down, just carrying on with his duties, instructions. So that is the actual quality of a devotee. We see in all the six Goswamis also. So Goswamis received so much to build the temples. They just built the temple and they continued. They never thought, oh, this so much money and this, and they were not attached. They never thought. So everything, whatever comes, everything Lord's service. If it doesn't come, also that is also Lord's mercy. So Prabhupada in that way, sometimes Prabhupada feast, big feast. Sometimes Prabhupada hardly taking anything. In the night, generally used, in the morning he used to take breakfast, his fruits and milk. In the afternoon only, actually his main lunch. In the dinner also is muri or puffed rice and milk. In the night, that's it. Sometimes in the morning, fruit, morning sweet sandesh, half sandesh or one sandesh or one rasgulla like that. That's it. Sunday sometimes he used to take throughout the day while translating the books. And the middle, only lunch is the main. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, used to take two sabjis, one dal, rice, and hot roti. So this is the otherwise sometimes once in a while festival. So you can see the even though he is at highest state, highest consciousness, he is showing by his own example, teaching by his own how to be controlled, how to be perform austerity. It doesn't mean he doesn't need to stop taking prasadam. He is taking, but how is regulated. That's why he is able to. He controlled the time. He controlled when he has to get everything. Actually, he controlled the time. Time is not controlling him. His mind, his body is not controlling him. He is controlling. So this is the way he is teaching us how we can also, it is not impossible. It is a gradual practice. We can all come to that state of consciousness. We don't need to give up anything. Ambarish Maharaj was Grihastha, Prahlad Maharaj was Grihastha. Many of them are Grihastha. Some are sannyasis, obviously. Some are vanaprasthas. But many of them were Grihasthas. Many. In our Brahma Mahatma Gaudiya example, many are there examples. So we don't need to think that, oh, I have to renounce this, I have to renounce that. No. There is no condition like that. Pandavas are all Grihasthas, all of them. They had even more than one wife. So as kings, they can have. So, but nothing is like nothing is restricted like that. Rather, how to be detached, despite you may have so much opulence and everything, but still you can become perfect and pure and fully fixed up. So that is what it is. How you transfer, how you dovetail, how you purify your consciousness, how to be absorbed, how you utilize things. That is the main purpose and crux of these verses. How it is basically teaching by the examples. Many examples are there. We just mentioned few. Already we are 9:30. Late. Happy Ekadasi. Parna time tomorrow. Let me tell you quickly, and then we'll close the session. Today's session. What is the time? Parna time is. Parna time is. Where is that? 25 now. 5:48 a.m. to 7:53 a.m. So best way to break is using Jagannath rice if you have it. If not, you can break with any Maharaj, anything offered to the Lord. So you can break it 5:48 a.m. to 7:53 a.m. So then Tuesday is Gadadhar Pandit appearance day, who is one of the Panchatattva. Srimati Radharani appeared as Gadadhar Pandit. And then Friday is very auspicious day, Akshaya Tritiya, very auspicious day. That is next Friday. Narsingha Chaturdasi is May 25th, Tuesday. It's a very important day. And then Sunday morning and evening our temple classes are there. Sunday morning 8 o'clock Sunday. Sunday is Mother's Day also. Okay. Thank you very much. Any quick questions anyone has, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll end the session.
Swamiji, what's Jagannath rice?
1 minute. Those who are on the phone, 1 minute. Jagannath rice is which is offered from Jagannath Puri. It is dried rice. They offer to Lord Jagannath that rice become dried. So next time we meet, I can give you. I have extra. I can give you. So that is the generally when we do Ekadasi, Dwadasi day. Generally we break with that 1 grain of that dried rice, because Jagannath Prasad, Jagannath Puri is famous for Mahaprasad. Anything you take means even if it is it never gets contaminated. That is the beauty of this. Means our Mahaprasad, sometimes if it is old or something happened, spoiled or something, we may have doubt. But Jagannath rice, Jagannath Mahaprasad, it doesn't get contaminated. That's why the Kaja also many months, years also, it doesn't get spoiled. Obviously rice, this is dried rice, so this is the generally the we break. But otherwise, if it is not there, then you break it with anything Maha, whatever is offered. So I can give you next time. Any others questions from Google Meet? If not, we'll go to the phone. Okay. Yeah. Anyone on the phone has questions? Akshaya Tritiya, no fasting. Akshaya Tritiya is the day where it multifolds many times. Whatever we do, whether we do charity, generally that day they do a lot of charity. Chandana Yatra also begins. I don't know, because of the weather here, we may not do Chandana Yatra. But at home, if it is not too cold, we can still do at home. If you have a deities, you can apply chandan to the deity. But otherwise, that day is we do a lot of charity. We can perform, we can feed, we can donate a cow, donate to the temple for Rajbhog, flowers and various things. You can bring boga. So like that, so many things. You can obviously increase chanting, do more chanting, do more reading, more hearing, serving. So many, whatever you can do, serving Tulsi Marani. So whatever, even small things, offering Tulsi leaves at home or bringing Tulsi leaves to the temple, giving it to the deities. So even the small things also. Now tulsi is available in the shops also. You can buy. Now it's not so cold, so we can maintain now. So in this way, Akshaya Tritiya, any spiritual activity we may do, then that will multiply and it helps us to grow in Krishna consciousness more quickly. That is the advantage of this. Special days means special mercy is available, more mercy is available. So we just need to grab it. So it doesn't come so often. So whenever it comes, whether it's Narsingha Chaturdashi, Akshaya Tritiya, then Balram Jayanti will come, Jagannath Snan Yatra will come, Janmashtami will come. All these special days, more mercy is available. So we need to grab it, whatever capacity and whatever circumstance we may be in. Accordingly, so we can do that. Okay. Okay, if there are no questions, we'll stop here. Thank you very much. हरे कृष्णा गंगा श्रीमद भगवद गीता की जय, शुभपाद की जय, गौर भक्त की जय.